Fun really isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
Hey everybody, we got some new Infinity War to break down, but because of the way it dropped, I have to be a little creative about how I break it down, so I had to cut this up just a little bit differently than I normally would. But they've already started dropping Easter eggs for Infinity War, and if you're a big fan of the other stuff the Russos have done, like Arrested Development and Community, there are actually some really funny Easter eggs for that in the Infinity War trailer, so I'll point them out when we get to that part. But if you are finding me for the first time, we do Marvel every week. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's even a ticket giveaway I'm doing at the end of the video, I'll explain. But what's happened is because they're pretty much done with the Infinity War trailer, it started to post online. So I'll just do this and try to connect the dots in terms of time frames. Because of the vignettes, it's hard to tell when these are going to take place during the movie, because you have Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Vision stuff going on Earth, then you have Guardians of the Galaxy stuff happening in a different part of space. So they're just a bunch of different groups of people. So we can guess at what the timeline is from some of these scenes, but it's not going to be 100%. Starting with the stuff based on Earth first, very clearly it's Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive coming after the Mind Gem, so they're coming after Vision, and the other Avengers that are nearby are trying to protect him. So even though they revealed what the Black Order looks like, they're calling them the Children of Thanos, which I'll explain, what they've changed from the comics in a second. But this is the actual first time that we've seen her with finished CG on screen. They'll probably polish this a little bit, but for the most part, this is what she will look like during the movie. So the spear that she wields was given to her by Thanos. It's a mythical weapon that reads a lot like the creation of Thor's hammer, just in the scope of what it can actually do. So it was created from a sun trapped in distorted space-time, and what it does is it acts like a star, a supernova, and a black hole all at the same time. When she throws it, it gives off energy arcs, but it also is able to increase its mass because remember, it acts kind of like a supernova, so it becomes super dense, and it would be like Surtur destroying Asgard with his giant Twilight sword, but in the size of this small spear. She throws it at Captain America, he catches it, but then you jump to a couple of different scenes. You see Falcon trying to fight her off. So even though there's no way that Falcon would have a chance, I think they want to give him some badass scenes. So then you jump to all those Scarlet Witch scenes looking like she's trying to protect Vision, although Vision is also one of the most powerful members, but I think he's just getting tag teamed by Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, who may have the same implied relationship that they do in the comics. In the comics, they're husband and wife, but in the movie universe, they're the children of Thanos, so it's kind of a weird situation. But if they're going to do the Scarlet Witch-Vision relationship thing, which I'll talk about in a separate video, then they might as well tease some Corvus Glaive-Proxima Midnight relationship. But like you see Vision here behind these bars, the entrance to the subway, looking like he's kind of relieved, like, oh my god, I just survived that. It's possible that because of the way Scarlet Witch is looking at him, they are able to fight them off and Thanos doesn't get the gem that way. Because it does sound like Vision will make it to Avengers 4, and they're doing this really weird thing with their children from the comics, but that's all still speculation based on some casting announcements they've made for Avengers 4. So Vision is still status pending, but I think he will survive to the next phase of Marvel movies in some form or another. But then you get the crowd shot of Black Widow, Falcon, and Captain America, which actually looks like when the Black Order first arrives, like they're watching them land in their ship like, holy shit, here we go. So it's before all of these big fight scenes. But even though Scarlet Witch is destroying a whole bunch of property here, I think the idea is that as the movies have gotten on, their powers have grown. Like the powers of the Infinity Gems are limitless or near limitless, and they've only begun to tap them as of Captain America Civil War. And like you saw her throw down and smash Vision through all those floors, imagine how much more powerful she is by the time we get to Infinity War. But then all of the other scenes are Guardians of the Galaxy specific scenes set in the Collector's Fortress, where Thanos has taken down the Collector and is trying to find the Reality Stone. He's trying to tell him, I sold it to someone else, I don't know where it is, I don't have it. But you can kind of see this motion capture foot on his chest, so obviously they haven't completely finished this yet. But as awesome and WTF as this is, they also work a lot of comedic scenes into this too, like Peter Quill trying to be all ninja, and then you see Mantis like just shuffling by as quietly as possible. Drax totally ready to botch the mission and try to go after Thanos. Now is when I seek my revenge for the death of my family. That's actually a deep cut from the comics. They mentioned it during the first Guardians movie, but he just had this long-standing hatred of Thanos and had been seeking revenge ever since he had come to Drax's planet and killed his family in a big assault. So if they don't pay that moment off here, there will be some other moment during Infinity War where they let them face off. But I think the idea is that Thanos is so powerful that he will roll into Avengers 4 with most of the gems, and the Avengers will just be shattered. So even if he doesn't wind up finding the gem here, he finds out where it is and destroys this entire fortress. So that's why you see all this wreckage here. You may have spotted the Arrested Development Easter egg. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of jokes in here too. It's going to be really serious because of the subject matter, but there will be plenty of funny Easter eggs. So the Russos directed Arrested Development, so naturally they worked some of that into the movie itself. In the background here, you can see that the Collector has collected Tobias while he's turned himself into one of the people from Blue Man Group. If you don't remember that, it's probably one of the funniest scenes from Arrested Development. But just expect a lot more of that during Infinity War, like little Easter eggs, probably some cameos from people that were in Community while the Russos were still directing that. The really big stuff that's missing from this is all the Iron Man, Spider-Man scenes. They sort of come as a package, but we get to see Spider-Man's Spidey sense for the first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Technically, he didn't have it during Spider-Man Homecoming. We get to see the new versions of their suits, but we finally get to see Winter Soldier thawed out in Wakanda. Remains to be seen who they're going to be fighting, but I guess it's going to be Black Dwarf, just because he's so ferocious. He's such a brawler, and that's kind of who Black Panther is, so it makes sense that they would pair them up. Then there's also footage of Ebony Maw coming for Doctor Strange to get the Time Gem, which is also an Easter egg for the Infinity Arc. And we haven't talked about it in a while, but remember Nebula explained what their upbringing was like? The children of Thanos were forced to fight each other, so she and Gamora would get body parts replaced to make them stronger if they lost any of the fights. But the thing is that we didn't learn about the other children. The other children that they grew up with are the Black Order of this movie. So if you've read the comics, you know that they come from a different place, and they didn't debut till much, much later after the Thanos Quest Infinity Gauntlet storyline. So they're sort of mixing and matching the modern stuff and the classic stuff, just to give Thanos his own dark version of the Avengers. But even though they've tweaked their origin, they're pretty accurate to what their abilities are, what their powers are. If you saw the Comic-Con trailer, then you'll probably recognize a lot of these scenes. So it looks like the official trailer will be a slightly bigger version of the Comic-Con trailer with better footage. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about all this? What's your favorite moment? And what other Easter eggs are you hoping to find? Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of Easter eggs for Thanos' quest, but as you can see, they work in Arrested Development Easter eggs, so it's going to go beyond the Marvel Universe. But as far as I know, the official trailer is supposed to drop next week, so whenever that happens, or if it drops early, I'll totally do a video for it, but leave all your bonus video requests in the comments below. I'll probably do more videos for the Black Order once we get better footage of them, and then we can talk about the timeline between the Thor Ragnarok post-credit scene where Thanos' ship shows up, and then what's happening during this trailer. But there's a new round of the IMAX ticket giveaway. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out, it's just for any movie that you want. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. I'll announce a new winner when I post new Marvel. And while you wait for everything, you can click here for that brand new Black Panther trailer, and you can click here for the trailer for the big 4-way crossover. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.